Right guys, really quick one. Sigma 100 to 400 f5 to 6.3. So it's not as fast of a lens as the 200 to 600. Obviously I haven't got quite as much zoom, so I've only got 400 instead of 600. So you do get a different look to the images, but it's quite compact. So in the box, this is a quick unboxing. You get obviously instructions and warranty kit. Quite well packaged, and as I can see here, that's been bashed by couriers. But here's the lens, nothing else in the box, so pretty straightforward. And that's the lens. Simple as, really. I'll come a bit closer. It's really compact, and do you know what, it feels quite nice in the hand. So hood there, you've got a lock there. It goes the wrong way, it goes the opposite way to what the Sony was, and it's also external zoom, not internal. But this size lens is not really an issue. Apparently you can get a collar for this, but you don't really need one, it's that small. You have got autofocus, manual focus switch. You've got your restrictions, so you've got from 6 meters back down, so maximum of 6 meters, to 6 meters to infinity. So I think it will focus minimum is 1.6 meters, I think the minimum. We've also got an AFL button, so you can program that, I'd imagine. I haven't actually tried, but and obviously you've got your different optical stabilization switches, 1 and 2. So 1 would be normal, 2 would be panning, or more erratic movements. Other than that, it's got like a rubbery neck here with the serial number on it, I presume. Yeah. No, it actually just says 1 to 400. Sorry, I thought it was the serial number in rubber. So it's got rubber gaskets around here. Yeah, you can see rubber gasket in there as well, inside here. So it's obviously got some kind of weather sealing, which is quite nice. Yeah. So it's just a case now of getting out and trying it. I have used it already a little bit, but the weather was terrible. But I like it because it's actually compact. It doesn't weigh much. But having 100 to 400 is actually quite useful. Obviously it's not a G Master lens, so that's another option. But I've got a month to try this out, basically. So I want to get out and actually about once we get some decent weather again, some light. That's the only obviously downside, is you've only got an f6.3 fastest aperture by 5 at 100. But so there is a little bit of restriction there. But obviously we've got ISO, so we can just crank the ISO up a little bit more, and it's still usable. Other than that, I do have the RX10 Mark IV, obviously, but it would be quite nice to have a 60 megapixel 400mm image. Obviously I can turn on crop mode and go to 600mm in crop mode at 26 megapixels, so that's the other advantage. So in theory, this is, I mean, it fits in my bag brilliantly, so I can have quite a few lenses in, and this thing just slots in, unlike the 200 to 600, which was a tight fit basically. If I was going out, it was only that lens going in there, but this is so compact. That's on like so. It's in my hand. It's not huge, it's not heavy. It weighs, I'd say, just over a kilo. So yeah. So I've just got to try out the autofocus system on it, see if it's any good. But for £900, it's quite a bargain, really. It's sharp. I've tested a couple of shots on it. It seems very sharp, and autofocus seems pretty quick. Don't know if it's as fast as the 200 to 600, but then again, the 200 to 600 just having problems with it being in focus. So this is just another option to look at. But I do like the way it feels in the hand. It's much easier to use because it's a lot lighter, and like I say, it fits in the bag. The grips on it are really nice. The actual zoom ring and everything's nice and chunky, and feels well made. Just for the money, it just seems quite a good lens. So I'll go and try it out. I've taken a few pictures already, which I'll stick on here. But we shall try it out and properly once we get some decent weather. It's been raining for the last 4 days, so it's been a little bit difficult to actually get out and about, and it's just been flooding everywhere, and you know, just dark and dismal really. So not ideal for this sort of lens. But anyway, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the little notification bell. That'd be brilliant. Also check out my new channel, which is the Stuart James Lifestyle channel, which is more my just sort of everyday stuff, out with the car, not photography things basically, but still quite a laugh. Possibly some other drone footage and stuff like that, but just more clips rather than actually descriptions of photography stuff. So it's more down to the average person, but you know, it could be of interest to you. So please subscribe to there as well. Links are in the end of the video and also up on the about bit on this channel. So if you click on the about, you'll see my other channel there, so click on that and have a look. Also got my merch as well, so you can click on the merch link if you want a t-shirt or anything like that. I've done a few t-shirt designs and hoodies. You know, if you want a hoodie at this time of year, it's starting to get a little bit cooler, a little bit more wintry, and they are honestly super soft and you know, really comfortable, and actually a nice price as well. So anyway guys, that's it for a minute, and I shall see you soon, and I shall get out with this lens as soon as I can and actually get some proper images taken with it in hopefully some decent light on the A7R4. So anyway, see you soon. So I did manage to get out briefly with the lens and on the A7R4, as you can see here, nice and sharp. You don't have the drop off as you would do in, say, something like the 135G Master, but or if you can afford a 600mm f4, or even the 100 to 400 f5.6 G Master. It's obviously slightly a faster lens, but this thing is so compact and actually feels really good in the hand. Unfortunately it was raining, sort of that spitty sort of drizzly stuff, and then it got heavier and heavier and heavier and then stopped. But as you can see here, even from a distance, the focus is pretty good. My shutter speeds weren't very high, shooting ISO 400 in a dull day, not ideal. As you can see, the water droplets on the back of the bird there, but nice and sharp. Background's quite soft, which is pretty good. I was just sort of messing around with focusing points and seeing what it was like across the board. Pretty sharp. Unfortunately the birds didn't really want to keep their heads up, but the background blurred out really nicely. Considering it's only a 400 and it's at f6.3, but having f6.3, even though you need a slightly faster shutter speed, it does actually give you a little bit more depth on your subject. So actually it does help you get a more pleasing shot. As you can see here, this seagull coming bloody miles away, but still pretty sharp. Utilising those 60 megapixels, so you can crop in quite nicely. You're only seeing 16:9 here, so any of the shots that you see, I've still got a little bit of the above and below of the image is the actual full image. So even though it looks like I've still cropped in a little bit, that's because I am. But actually pretty good. I mean, I was only shooting at 1/800th of a second as well, so you know, I know probably ideal for shooting birds in flight, sort of 1/1600th of a second upwards really. But like I say, there's no sunshine, it was dull, as you can see here, the misty, wet, horrible day. But I thought I'd take it out, check it out in the more extreme conditions that it might be used at, and actually focused well. Like I say, my shutter speeds weren't quite fast enough, so the images are sharpish, but they're in focus. And that's where the problem I had with the 200 to 600, it was just so erratic. The fact this is a £900 lens compared to a £1,700 lens, and there was an issue with something, so I just don't know. That one's gone back. Actually, in some respects, this is a more usable lens because it fits in the bag easily. I'm an all-rounder photographer, so maybe, you know, having a 600mm lens was a bit overkill. I mean, you can never have enough for each, which is obviously, you know, it is quite handy. But then I have got the RX10 Mark IV still, so that's got a 600mm range, and obviously f4 as well, so you could have much faster shutter speeds and lower ISOs. But it was just nice having the a full frame 600mm lens. But then it's quite large, quite heavy. You have to think about taking it with you. This actual lens is actually small enough to just sit in the bag. It doesn't really take up much space. I mean, I was really impressed, really. So even though it's a 400mm, not 600, it's still pretty usable. It's pretty sharp by the looks of things, so that's quite good. It focuses on birds in flight. I know it's only a seagull, but that's the only thing that was available at the time. Like I said, it was windy. I was getting blown around a bit. I did try it on OS 1 and 2, so The optical stabilization modes 1 and 2, one for panning, one for sort of more stationary things. But as you can see, it's pretty good. Like I say, the weather was awful, so the air quality was terrible, which means obviously it's a little bit hazy, a little bit sort of grainy. But yeah, all in all, pretty impressed actually. This is literally the first time I used it. I'd just done a photo shoot, but I put it in the bag, and I thought, you know what, I'll take it with me. Could come in handy. And like I say, it just needs. I mean, I just need another day now that I can actually, or a couple of days, where it's nice weather and I can actually get out and actually try it. But we've had it just miserable, sort of typical early autumn English weather. So yeah, cloudy, rainy, lots of heavy rain. Just need some sunshine, like I say. And then we can see how this thing does. Do I keep it or not? Time will tell. But as I say, pretty impressed with that. I mean, not bad at all, considering I didn't really make much effort to try and even get the shots of this. And like I say, my shutter speed was too slow really, so it could have been even sharper with a faster shutter speed. But it was just, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's just a few shots, guys. So you can kind of see it does focus pretty well, and pretty much all over the frame as well. So I had it in AF wide, so it was tracking, you know, the subjects around. As you can see here, nice and sharp on the bird there, the seagull, the young seagull. Background blurs out pretty nicely. That was a crop in, so as you can see, quite a nice crop in. So yeah, I mean, all rounder, brilliant lens. As you can see here, plenty of grain and horribleness due to the weather, but still pretty good. Like I say, it's a £900 lens, so not expensive at all really. Anyway guys, that's it. As I say, please subscribe, please check out my other channel. The link's in below and in the about bit about me. Other than that, please comment below, see what you think. Do you have this lens? I don't know. And if you do, what camera do you use it on? Just interesting to see really. And have you had any other experiences with this lens? It may be something I keep. I don't know yet, but we shall see. Anyway, I shall see you soon, and thanks for watching.